There we go.
Can you hear me now? Yo.
There we go.
Still can't hear me. Yo. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in today's EP. Push the Rock Podcast. Struggle streaming for the 50th. You know what I'm saying? But we here now. Glory to the Lamb. You know what I'm saying? So, since we a little bit high, we gonna jump this thing right off. But first, before I even jump into what today's issue is, we gonna tell you where you can find us every week, all the time. Hold on. Find us at Crown of Glory 360. But hold on, that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Crown of Glory 360. Also, YouTube is at youtube.com/Crown of Glory 360. Like, share, subscribe, comment, smash the notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop content, right? So today we talking about daddy issues. This is part one of a three-part segment. You know what I mean? We just talking about fatherhood. And so how do we, the things we discuss about fatherhood, how we deal with fatherhood, if you're a father, and even if you had issues with your father or not having a father. So this episode right here, this first part one of this segment is called Rolling Stone. Now I was inspired by this song Rolling Stone from the Temptations back in the day. I don't even think David Ruffin was the lead. I think Dennis Edwards was the lead singer on this one, but nevertheless, the song was a Rolling Stone, and it was about a man who went and made babies and was laying up at other people's houses, and basically he just wasn't around. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he lay his hat was his home. You know what I'm saying? We know a lot of people like that. But this episode is slightly based around that concept, but also just about, fatherhood in general. How was your relationship with your father? Did you have a relationship with your father? Did you know your father? How did that affect you? And even if you had a father, he's still saying no audio. Okay. They saying. Then he said yes. All right. And even
you good.
And even if you did have a relationship with your father, how did that affect you in your fatherhood? Not having a father, how did you affect you in your fatherhood? And in your daily life, and in your living. If you had a halfway daddy, how did it affect you? If you had a part-time daddy, if you had a good stepdaddy, how did that affect your life? How did that affect your being, your maturation, your living, your spirit, your soul? How did that affect you? And I want y'all to share with the people. But y'all know me, I like to get to the root of things. So before we even jump off into the baby mama dramas, and before we even jump off into the all the other landscapes of what possibly could have taken place throughout your fatherhood experiences, let's talk about how we got there. And I always, if y'all notice, every topic, I like to go to the root. And I always like to start with my beginnings, because Jesus was a walking sacrifice. So I feel it's fair for me to sacrifice some of my life, be transparent, share with y'all some of my life, some of my story. So we gonna push the rock that way. That's the revelation of Christ's kingdom, by the way. We love you, God. So we here now. And by the way, after I get finished talking, I'm gonna invite some of my peoples in. You shot the link to me. I'm gonna invite some of my people in and let them share their opinions and what they've been through. And we got a couple of questions. I meant to tell the producer too that I do want him to moderate the questions that I sent him. And I know he has some extra questions himself because he's very creative like that.
Nah, you on your own, son.
Nah, son, don't play me, son. You know who funny in interviews though? Donnell Rollins, man, that dude. I love his interviews.
Gotta relax.
Yeah, gotta relax. But
I need you to focus.
We gonna jump off into this thing. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experience with my father. And when we get to the questions, we could talk about how those things affected me, what my perception was in the beginning, the middle, and now. So I like to jump this off. And but first, for the most part, I got this head scripture I like to put before the show, because believers and non-believers alike, no matter what church denomination or whatever you think you claiming, because there's only one God and it's only one belief. I won't even say religion. You follow in the way of Christ. So, my thing is, Christ said he wished that none perish, but all come to him before the kingdom. I'll repent for their sins. And so doing that, I don't just straight come out and smack you with the Bible. I'll be transparent and use my life as an anchor. Now, this might not help everybody, right? But for most, it will. For a lot, it will, especially people I know who can relate with my struggle. So heading to the scripture is Luke 5:30, chapter 5, 30 through 30. And I'm reading from the New Living Translation. But the Pharisees and their teachers of religious law complained bitterly to Jesus' disciples, "Why do you eat and drink with such scum?" And Jesus answered them, "Healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. I have come to call not those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners and need to repent." It's a lot of people out there that don't want to bust up in your church house because y'all looking at them funny. They don't want to come through the hood. They don't want to come to your local church house. They don't want to jump on your churchy podcast because they feel like they don't know nothing and they don't want to learn nothing from you because you seem like you're uppity, and they can't relate to what you're talking about. Because what a lot of Christians do, a lot of people that say they're Christians do or follow the ways of Jesus Christ or any religion, act like they got it all figured out. When for real, sometimes behind closed doors, most times they like being shambles. So I come from a place where I'm not perfect. And my life is not a reflection of perfectness. But now you see the perfectness that God is putting inside of me, making me different from how I used to be. So that's why I like to use that scripture at the beginning of every show, just to keep y'all motivated, just to let y'all know it is hope. But it's more than hope is real. It's a way. So that's how we're going to start this. So daddy issues, part one, Rolling Stone, which, like I said, they didn't hear me when I said all that stuff, did they? So, like I said, I named this part one of this segment Rolling Stone, and I took that from the idea, and the inspiration was behind the song Papa Was a Rolling Stone. The Temptations made that song back in the day, and my mama, out of all people, she the one who planted that song, that seed and song in my head long ago. And I guess my first perception or my first idea, hey, Pastor Clarence be sending you a link in a minute. I guess my whole perception, I got an idea of when she gave me this song, because my mama used to do stuff like I know you ain't seen your daddy. And just say little stuff, and I wouldn't, for real, before somebody makes you notice something, just like I said about other things, before I noticed that I was poor, somebody had to make me pay attention to the fact that I was living a little impoverished to make me notice. And just like that, same thing with my pops. Like, I wouldn't bring it up like I want my daddy, I want my daddy. I wouldn't, I wasn't that guy. But she made me notice, and she played the song to me a long time ago. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left was alone. You know what I'm saying? And those were the lyrics, and it had a little more to it. And it's a real, you can feel the pain in that song. Even then, even when I was little. So I was being introduced to an emotion that I didn't even know I had or was supposed to have. That's crazy how that's a play on the mental. And so, yeah, this part one Rolling Stone is loosely based around things like that. If you had a father in your life, if you didn't have your father in your life, if you had a halfway daddy, if you had a stepdaddy, if you had your dad got killed, even if you had a full-time father who did everything, or you had a full-time father who was not really, who lived with you, but worked all the time. Yeah, I really didn't get to spend a lot of time. Just all the things I want to talk about, the daddy issue number one, Rolling Stone. I want to talk about your relationship with your father, or lack thereof relationship of father, how it affected you in your life, your mental, your spiritual, and how did it affect your parenting if you're a father in the long run. So let's get this thing started. And as usual, I'm going to use my story in the beginning as a segue to open this conversation. This is an open panel conversation. I will be shooting the link out to people who have requested to be on the show today, and I had some invites. So I'm hoping and I'm glad that y'all tuning in. So, oh yeah, and on this thumbnail, that's my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, you know what I mean? Young Rich Harris. So yeah, but so when I was from the time I could remember when I was little, my first experiences, I remember
Hey, why I heard ever since I could remember. It's like,
so I remember being young, and I remember the first time. I don't know if it's the first time, because I know, you can, when you little, you can only remember and spurt so much stuff. And I remember, it's crazy. It's a play on the mental. Like, the most times I remember spending time with my daddy, and I know I spent more times with him than I think I did. But most times I think it's about times when he took me somewhere or he gave me something. Like, or when I spent the night, he got me Star Wars was real big. I remember he got me in Wrestling Man, and I remember I remember playing Wrestling Man and Star Wars with my big brother over their house, because my daddy had me in the middle of being in a relationship with somebody else. And I found out later on, dude had more kids than that. But, and my daddy always looked young, but he was a fairly older guy compared
you ain't sent me
compared to my mother. I did. It's in your email. What you talking about?
You ain't sent me nothing.
I sent you the S note too. I can show you. I can show you right now. Hold on, y'all, because he interrupted me while I'm in the middle of telling me what I ain't did. Like I always.
You need me to have it, so.
I doubt. All right.
I got an Amazon package to check on real quick.
All right, I'm gonna find that for you though.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Let's see what other shit.
Just carry on.
Yeah, it's right here. I'll resend it though if you need it. Do. So my bad, y'all. So, while I was being told what I didn't do, but I'm looking at what I did like usual. But yeah,
Yeah, I remember going over to his house when I was little and spending the night over there. Then I remember a couple times he took me to the movies, and you know, my mama used to tell me little stuff about him, and she make me notice. She just tell me little stories about my daddy, what type of dude he was, as far as much as she could explain, and she would tell me how much what their relationship was about or whatever. Not going depth, but just be say little things here and there, tell stories, and you know. But as far as I remember, my daddy always had a wife, and I had a like I said, I had an older brother and a little sister, and they got the same mama, which means he stepped outside of what he was doing to he was doing extracurricular activities. I was the bastard baby. You know what I'm saying? So y'all ever y'all ever seen the new movie y'all seen the new movie you seen the new movie the new Coming to America when Eddie Murphy found his son and he was like, and that is my bastard child. Yeah, that's me. So um I just remember, and I'm walking through this as much as I can, trying to stay on track. But I remember, you know, I wouldn't even be thinking about dude. I'd be just living my little regular life because in the neighborhood I lived in, a lot of people didn't have their daddies. You know what I'm saying? But my mother she would pull my coat to a lot of stuff. Like she would never. I don't even remember my mom ever saying, "Your daddy said he coming to get you," or none of that. I never heard none of that. But I remember my mama saying stuff like, "Yeah, I know you don't get to see your daddy, and I know you feel like this, and I know you feel like that." And I used to just be like, "Okay." But the more that those type of, I call them mental plays, the more that stuff is put into you, you started to develop feelings. Like, it's one thing to notice. I ain't really noticed, like I said, because a lot of people in my neighborhood didn't have daddies. Like I said, I had one friend that lived across the street from me. What's going on? I sent it to you too. Again. All right. I had one friend that lived across the street from me. And I had one friend that lived across the street from me, and I sent one from another email. I said, I had one friend that lived across the street from me, and he had a daddy, but his daddy ain't live with him. But his daddy would come pick him up, and so she'd be like, "Why you ain't outside playing with with Dwayne?" And I'd be like, "Cause he you know what I'm saying, he just left with his daddy." Then the conversation would happen. That's how the segue. I guess she felt guilty. I don't know, but then the daddy stuff would come. I know you, or my little brother daddy would come get him. Yeah, I noticed that he had a daddy and all that, but I knew my daddy. I know I had a daddy. Now, granted, we ain't spent a lot of time together. I was a mama's boy anyway, so I really wasn't focused on that. But like she introduced that song, Papa was a Rolling Stone. It's just like it was a play on the mental, like making me see my daddy in a certain way. So, as I got older and, I about 8, 9, 10, I'm really starting to come into some thoughts. And so now I got friends and I'm going to school and now I got 2 or 3 friends who got daddies. You know what I'm saying? And now I find myself just to be cool and be friends. I ain't really spend no time with my daddy like that later on, like because he had moved to another state. So now I started to I started to try to fit in with them or be cool and talk about what my daddy done did or how cool my daddy is, even though I know I ain't spend no time with my daddy for real. But that was just trying to be down and be cool because I did know who my daddy was. Like I knew his name and everything. Ever since I was a little bitty baby, I knew little bitty boy. When I first met him, I knew who he was. Like I remember my oldest sister on my mama's side. Well, my only oldest sister. Well, no, it ain't. My oldest sister on my mama's side. My mama had her and another baby. Then had me. Lost one child. Then had me, but had my older sister. and then but was back messing with my older sister daddy again. And I remember calling dude pops, and then the second I met my daddy, I stopped calling him pops, and that hurt his feelings. But I'm like, I know my daddy, but I didn't disrespect him. I still gave him the same respect till we moved on to another one. Then my mama went and had a baby by another guy. And you know, my little brother daddy, he was like a daddy, like he was there for my little brother, like for real. So, you know, she might have felt some way about that with because my daddy lived all the way in Georgia, and so she might have felt some way about that because my little brother had a good dad. It just ain't work out between them two. But my little brother had a great dad. So she might have felt that I felt some type of way because my little brother used to get the Jordans, and he used to get all the toys and the clothes. And, you know, a lot of his Christmas was split with me. You know what I'm saying? So I was with my mama doing those mental plays on me about my daddy and our relationship, and with my daddy, my brother having a good daddy, and my sister having a daddy, somewhat daddy that she had a relationship with, you know, I guess. And I was the middle child. I guess my mama felt like I was the oddball or something, right? And I started to take on that identity and those insecurities. And I think, you know, it probably would have came sooner or later, but I think the more that she spoke these things to me, it added to the development of my thought process of how to navigate those things or how to react to those things. And seeing my friends that did have, like I said, the majority of my friends didn't have daddies. I mean, I'm just gonna put that out there, but a few of them had daddies. So, you know, like I said, so I made a song before where I say,
Hey, not to cut you off, but make it public.
oh yeah, I forgot all about that because of the joints. Yeah, but thank you. So yeah, so I ain't gonna lose track of either. No, that's wrong. Yeah, so you know, you know, it was crazy because I think into my developmental process, I think me feeling like my daddy wasn't there or me not having a daddy for real wouldn't have came so fast and furious if it wasn't for my mother's input. And I don't know if I was showing or displaying behaviors that read, this boy ain't got no daddy, to my mama. I don't know why she did it. I couldn't tell you for the life of me, but I'm a child, so I don't know what I was displaying to make her think what kind of behaviors that I had, because my mama always said I was bad. Like, you was bad. Like, so I don't know exactly what it was to make her always bring that stuff up and it'd always be at times I wasn't even thinking about the stuff. But like I said, it might have been her guilt or whatever. I don't know. But it's crazy because that's in the beginning. Now I go through the things in life. I had some traumas happen in my life, molestations, you know, I'm having behavioral problems. So all of a sudden, I'm introduced to my daddy's mother. And you know, I was acting up. I was wilding out. So I end up moving in with my grandma because I guess my mama said I was too much. I was going to counseling and therapy, and because I was, you know, but you know, at that stage, I mean, I think everybody that was in going to elementary school with me was like really wilding out. But my mama like was taking extra special precaution with me because of whatever happened to me and whatever situations happened to me. And she thought that I was acting extra crazy. I guess she always said I was real bad. So she ended up sending me with my grandma. And I had communication with my daddy, and my daddy's never been a big talker. Like, we get on the phone for about 5 minutes. We'd talk. He'd give me directions, tell me what to do. I do them, and that's just what it was. And he sent me a little money and a little bread here and there. And he flew in a couple times before that summer. He brought me some clothes and stuff. Then I think on Christmas, I flew down there for Christmas one year, and I came back with some new clothes and stuff. I was still living with my grandma, and then the next school year, I end up moving down there with my daddy, and so now I get to really be in my daddy's, be in his space, and my big brother. And like I tell you, man, you could really now. I will say this: you can tell the difference when a man has been in a boy's life. Me and my brother were completely different people. Like my brother was always been a little guy, skinny guy, but man, that guy got confidence, ego, just everything, and was competitive. He just had that drive. He had that heart. You know what I'm saying? He was real smart too. Like, so, you know, he caught on to things real fast, and you know, he was a good teacher too. Like, he used to teach me a lot of stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Most of the stuff when I was down there that I gained, the confidence and stuff was from my daddy by way of my big brother. Because everything that my big brother got, he got it from my daddy. So all the things my daddy had instilled from him from a little boy, and then I had the big brother. Because by the time I got to my daddy, he was older. He wasn't really talkative. He was serious. He was always work. He was mean. What up, EL? He was mean. I was just talking about your daddy too, boy. But that's my little brother right there. So he was always teaching me stuff. And you know, like I said on last week, he was teaching me how to fight and all that, teaching me sports. Him and my daddy, we used to go play. We used to go throw the ball, football. Then he put us in football. We used to go hoop. We used to play tennis. We had a BB gun. We used to shoot the BB gun. Just all man stuff. It used to take us in the woods and nature trails and, you know, all that type of stuff. Like, I had a daddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I remember before I got to know him, I used to make up all the stuff that I said we was doing then. And we really started, it like really came to fruition. I really had a daddy and I had to make it up and all that. But I still, in my mind, wasn't mature enough to think what was going on. So then I end up getting in trouble down in Atlanta. But I passed school. And beknownst me, my my mama and my stepmama was doing some behind the scenes negotiations, and I end up having to go back to Cincinnati. And right back to not having a father again and all that. And they put it on my daddy. But to my daddy, they put it on me. They told my daddy that I wanted to come back home, that I asked to come back home. Right? I love you too, bro. You back now, though. What up, Corn? So, dang, I didn't even notice that. They put a double whammy on us. They told my daddy that I wanted to go, and they told me my daddy said I had to go. And then, but they asked me, did I want to go? And I said, I don't know. Like, I guess, whatever. Right? And so my daddy got mad about that. He got mad at me. Like, I guess he like all the stuff, you know, man, it's so crazy. And this why we got to get into the psychology of this thing. It's so crazy. Even now, later on in life, I pick up on a lot of things and I understand a lot of things and feelings that my father, this is allegedly, I almost can say on a lot of things, I feel him. I know how he felt at this moment about certain things because I feel this way about certain things. And this is something that I know he had to feel because I could see why he did certain things. And I would be hurt if my son that I wanted, that I never got, left. And it's just crazy. So let's fast forward this. So I ended up going home and we already we going through the same process. We already know about the traumas, the Nino Brown fantasies, the gang banging and all that. We know that, right? So we gonna go fast forward to now. I'm grown. I'm working. I done met God. I asked God to reveal truths to me. He's showing me a new life. I'm working. The first time in my life, I get a call while I'm at work. Hey, your daddy dead. Boom. I go down there. I go down there to I go to I go down to Atlanta for my daddy's funeral, and I swear the lyrics from Jay-Z played in my head when he was like, Pops died, didn't cry, didn't know him that well. But see me, and then I heard, matter of fact, but this is crazy about the psychology because I skipped over some stuff. So when I was down living with my daddy, dude, man, I didn't even know my daddy was in his 40s when I was 12. When I lived down there, he was already in his 40s. He was like 45 or something. And I didn't even know that, right? He was well off into his 40s. And man, dude was working out and he drank, he do all that stuff, drinking roots and specialties. And, you know, he did all of that stuff. He was workout. Like I said, he took us to play tennis, football. And yeah, we lifted weights too. All that taught us how to play chess. My daddy taught me how to play chess when I was 11, 12 years old. I still know how to play it today. My daddy taught me how to play that. This is checkers. I mean, this is chess, not checkers looking mug. But so I just remember all that stuff that he instilled. And I remember he was really health conscious. And if you seen a picture of my daddy in his 40s, he looked like he was in his 30s. I mean, his 30s or in his late 20s. And he died when he was like 80. And man, when I seen that man in his casket, like people, if you see me next to my mom, you say, Dad, like even with his dreads, when they say, Dad, well, you look like your mama. But if you see my daddy, I'm talking about, I looked in my daddy casket and I said, and I just smiled. He said, and I just heard the Jay-Z verse when he was like, he said, coming into the church pretending to be hurt wouldn't work, but a smirk was all on my face. Like, dag, that man's face is just like my face. Because when I looked in there, I seen me. I'm like, dag. I mean, and my sister, they still stay down in Georgia. That's where they from. And they call me and they say, man, she start crying like we be talking on FaceTime or something. And she just bust out crying like, God, you just look so much like daddy. God, you look more like daddy than me and bruh, like my big brother. And I'd be like, yeah, you know. And I started to, like I said, those mental things, those mental plays my mama used to put me back on there. And I'm not saying these things to say negative about my mama. I say it was good things that my mom was doing. I don't know the reason why she made me notice these things. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she was preparing me because I said I probably would have started to notice it more later than later and started to ask questions, but I didn't ask questions about where my daddy. I never did that. So it was no reason for her to bring those things up, but she did. And the way she did it was just like how she dumped that Rolling Stone song on me, like, and it kind of felt like it was an angle on, it was a play on that. It was an angle, like, so I could look at my daddy like he was dirty and he ain't want nothing to do with me. So I get down there, I get sent back, come to find out my daddy mad at me. Don't ask my mama for nothing. Now I'm young and I just think my daddy mean anyway. So I don't know how to process why he acting like this. But now that I'm older, I understand like, oh, he was hurt. He thought he was about to rock out with his son. And the only reason why I know these things because I have evidence now. I have evidence now of why this is all in how this come together. Because people show you their hands. So when my daddy died, so That's what's up. So when my daddy died and I went down there and died, my brother came at me like this. It hurt my brother till my brother said, yeah, and you was a little punk. You ran back down there with your mama. I'm like, first of all, I was a child. So how do I get to make the decisions? Because if it was my son, I don't care where he want to go. If I want my son and they giving me an option, because nowadays these baby mamas ain't giving you an option. They gonna make you take them to court. They gonna play their hand. You dag on there had to go kidnap your kids if you want to have control. You gonna have to have all your stuff together. But my daddy had a choice. So in my mind, you shouldn't have let me leave then, regardless of what I said. But your pride was like, oh, he want to leave? But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm a mama's boy, remember that. And my daddy kind of hardcore, so it's easy to leave for real little bit, but I wasn't forcing to move. If you would have said you got to stay, that's what I would have said. I stay. But instead, I went back, and now I'm back into the lost tribe. I'm back into the wilderness, you feel me? So come to find out, when my daddy died, and I was shot back down to I'm a grown man. I got 2 or 3 numbers. I've been in gang wars. I've been in drug wars. I've been through some stuff, right? I done been through some stuff. And when I seen my daddy, I wasn't like I said, that Jay-Z first play, like a smirk was all on my face. Like, all I can say is like, dang, he look good too. Like, I look just like dude. Like, his hair all curly. I hope I got all my hair and be look smooth like this one. I'm just being silly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't really processing like that, but I'm more paying attention to my sister and my stepmama and my brother and seeing how everybody else. My brother didn't even go to the funeral. You know what I'm saying? So I was I was just like, I was just like, but my mother started revealing things to me. And see, now, like, I asked God to reveal me truths about everything, because I always had this victim stance about my daddy, how my daddy played me. My daddy wasn't here. I had my whole identity was based off of halfway not having a daddy, Tupacing. You feel me? 75%, I say 60% of my super out of this world, crazy, gang banging, dope dealing, I'm hopeless and I'm from the struggle attitude, came from the I didn't have a daddy. My daddy didn't love me type of attitude. Perception is everything. But I was getting into the Lord, and I asked the Lord to reveal me some truths. So check this out. Mama talked to me one day. Now remember, y'all, I told y'all when I was little, I felt like we was poor. Not because actually I knew that we was poor, but only because people made me notice that maybe we didn't have much as people, or our houses weren't crispy as other people's, or we didn't have as much furniture as other people, right? My mama say, now remember, I tell you, my brother he had a daddy. Like, some of his Christmases, he don't know, he was little, but some of his Christmases were split into our Christmas. Like, he got hella toys and I get a portion of them toys. Not a lot. He still get his more, but I get some of them Hot Wheels and Army. And I knew that did. I knew they was his toys, but I ain't trip. I just shared, and and then here go my mom and your daddy and all of this crazy stuff, right? And like I said, my sister, she had a daddy, and I know she got stuff I wasn't wearing, you know what I mean? And she was old enough to work, so she was getting her own stuff. Now, on the other hand, I wasn't receiving nothing from my daddy, or so allegedly. My daddy died. My mama say, boy, your daddy, well, he paid his child support, and he made good money too. He was getting a good look. Yeah, he paid his child, and he paid a lot of money too. He had a good job. And I said, well, I be got on dag. What you mean? So I was led to believe
Then I ain't had nothing that my daddy was rolling in the fat checks to you the whole time? The whole time you was getting fat checks? What was my cut? Why I gotta get split toys between me and my brother? Why my brother gotta be wearing Jordans because his daddy bought him Jordans? You getting a fat check? Why don't you go get my Jordans from my daddy check? Right? If that's how we rocking. Or what kind of shit? Like, why are you telling me this now? The whole time I'm under the illusion that I'm broke and I'm poor and we hopeless, right? But guess what? I had a friend of mine tell me, man, you remember she used to drink and stuff, and she was under addiction. That's probably where the money went to, bro. Like, but I said, bro, she had 2 jobs at all times. So you got 2 jobs and you get child support. You got one active daddy, and then my older sister, she old enough, she buy her own stuff. Why am I getting the short end of the stick? Why am I made to believe that I'm so bad? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man, it's just, and that's crazy, Steve, that you had to go through that. I love you, bro. But so it's just crazy. It's crazy how perception and the way we think of things don't always be true. So another thing was revealed to me, bust my head. So same time, my mama, she crying, she heard from me. She like, I know you so hurt. Kind of like the same stuff she used to play on my mental. And I know you and your daddy, but now you're saying a lot of good things about him. But she tried to flip this narrative to say, well, your daddy said, since I pay all this child support, why can't I have my son? As if she says your daddy was crazy talking about I paid his child support so I should get my son, right? Who knows the conversations that they had before that? So you can say it like that to make me think one way, but I've had these conversations with my baby mamas by now. So you can't have this conversation with me and make me look at this man and think one way, especially after you just told me you was getting the bankroll and I wasn't getting cut in. You can't make me believe that. So you say, and I said, what's wrong with that? I said, what was wrong with him saying that? And if he paid for me, he might as well. You said I was so bad, and then I done had all these molestations and all this crazy. Why don't you think that makes sense for me to go with him? Then we had that big thing, and once again, my good friend talked me off the rope. He said, you gotta come in a different way. You ain't gotta be like that, but make you know, it's a way to make your parents respect you without disrespecting them, but make them feel you. So I went about it that way, and I changed up. So going back into that discussion, I still disagree with that thought. That theory. Like what? Like, yeah, I feel that same way too. I've had that discussion, but it ain't like that no more. It ain't like that. You got to literally go to courts on these ladies nowadays. So it ain't you could just, back then it was easier. Like, and then you sent me down there with him. I get in a little bit of trouble, and you and my stepmama go behind his back and say, come send him home because he too bad or whatever your thought, you can't handle it. But my daddy didn't feel like he couldn't handle it. You know why he didn't? I know he didn't feel like he couldn't handle it because he was mad at me for leaving. That's why. And that's what I be talking about. But the whole time, you know, you sorry at your daddy. I know you mad. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Dude wanted me though. And I understand how it feels to be defeated, not wanting to have to go hands up with this lady all the time just for your child, just for them to keep giving you pushback and playing you. That get tiresome. that gets tiresome. So that's why I said some feelings I start being able to process better as I got older. Like, well, he had to feel like I know how he felt. So I'm not mad at him. He wasn't blaming me. But the only time he blamed me is when y'all lied on me and said I want to come home. He wasn't blaming me for the other times when he couldn't have me. He was blaming you. He wasn't blaming me. He was blaming you. He was saying, man, let me get my son. Pay the child support. I pay the child support. Why can't I get my son? At least let me raise him and be a man. I bet you ain't telling about when I got molested. I bet you ain't telling me how your friends did that. I bet you didn't tell him all that. I don't think my daddy knew all that. But you don't want to let him know your failures. And then you want to put him on the wall and play victim. I love my mama, though. Don't get me wrong. This is no disrespect, but I got baby mamas too, so I know how the game go. You can't tell me no other difference. I understand, and I understand. I feel it. I caught the psychology immediately soon as you showed your hand and said, you got all this money. He was a good dude. Basically, you almost made my daddy almost a good dude. But early years before he died, you painted a picture to let me draw the rest of it out as if he wasn't nothing. That's crazy. So I went to his funeral. All this new news and information started to come out. I'm arguing with my brother and sister about, they saying you want to leave. And then my stepmama even said it. Then my stepmama even said, nah, your mama told you come home. My mama said, my stepmama said it. So now I know they was in cahoots. It don't matter. Y'all did that. It ain't had nothing to do with dude. Y'all told dude I want to leave. And y'all told me I had to, basically trying to make me put that perception in my head to look at him. So now you got me back and I went nuts. I could have almost died. It's crazy because of people and these evils, and God revealed all this stuff to me. I might not have. I was trying to get back in my right mind at this time. I had just started walking back in the faith, and a lot of things started to be revealed to me, man. It just started to be revealed to me, man. It was crazy. It was insane. It was insane, man. And so I started to break everything down. I started to say, hey, man, was my mama I got a couple baby mamas that I hate to use the term, the bitter baby mama. Was she the bitter baby mama? When I started to see a couple of things, I said, oh, just because, man, I learned this a long time ago, just because they're your parents don't mean they always tell the truth. They don't always tell the truth, bruh. I love my mama to the death of me, bruh. I love my mama with everything I got in me, bruh. But she had some foul on the play. She was young. Just like the baby mamas I had, they was young. And everybody has feelings and emotions and no teaching. She ain't had no daddy to teach her. Her mama had man's kids. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't have no, and he ain't had no daddy. He told my mama. So why would you play him like this? When he shared some stuff with my mama, told my mama, yeah, I seen my daddy one time in my life. If I see him again, I'll probably walk up to him, give him a hug and shoot him. Why would you plant that in my head? Because at times I felt like that. Until I went to live with him. Until you started to tell me all these things. And I still didn't let him off the hook. But I'm not letting her off. I'm not letting them off the hook. I forgive them both because they had nobody to teach them. They had daddy issues too. But I'm just saying, do you see how these things can develop into a monster
This is why Satan wants to destroy the nuclear home. Do you understand? This is why he wanted to destroy everything. And he used, it's not just the black, it's the home period. The wife, it's the two family household. The mom and the daddy being married, the nuclear family. Because if he could destroy that, that's the beginning of destroying beliefs, belief systems that got anything to do with God. Man, it's crazy right now, man. It's crazy right now, man, because I tell you right now, man, that's the only man that ever told me something, that would ever tell me something. I ain't had to see him. I ain't had to see his face, that would tell me something. He would tell me one time and I would do it. Or I would try to the best of my ability. And then I would sit and have a revelation like, dang, I ain't been in jail a long time. I said the last time I talked to my daddy said, hey, boy, what's going on with you? We start talking. He said, hey, what you be going to jail? You got some stuff going on? He said, son, I remember his words because this is the last time I talked to him. And that was in 2013. He said, son, that ain't a place for us. Don't go back. Stay away from there. And I went back for petty stuff, but I'm talking about I ain't never go back to the joint no more. And I still was lightweight throwing rocks at the penitentiary, but I was just moving so unenthusiastic about doing those illegal things. It was just crazy, man. I listened to my daddy. The one time I went to school and I came back with a messed up report card. He said, I ain't gonna tell you no more. I guess what? Best report card I ever had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, man, like that. I made a song where I said I said I used to act like my father was a hero and not all bad. How I remember that was a part of the victim struggle, the victim stance. Because for real, my daddy was my hero, and I ain't never been around him that much, or so I allegedly in my mind from what I could remember. I didn't have him all the time, but what he said, I never disrespected that man one time, even when I was badass. I never disrespect that man, even though I felt I had something on my shoulders and I felt the way, and I was tough now. And I wasn't no punk. And I'd have shot people, and I'd have stabbed people, and I'd have beat up folks, and I'd have been to the joint. I still never disrespected that man, not one time. My heart still beat fast every time I talk to dude, even when I think about him, bro. I can remember his voice. Like, I sound like dude when I talk. My vocal cords. It's crazy, man. And we get caught up and we get lost in these ideas and these things. This is what a broken family does. And my issues, my identity was largely based in that trauma because it was planted in me from an early age. The enemy was behind my mama telling her, tell him his daddy ain't nothing. Tell him make him feel bad, make him feel sorry for himself, make him notice that his daddy ain't around. Because I ain't noticed. Right? Enemy got behind my stepmama and my mama. Right? Because naturally they shared the same man. My mama always downplay my daddy, like, your daddy really liked me, but why was he married to another lady? Make it make sense. My daddy was a man just like anybody else. He had game. I mean, come on. I chip off the old block, got to resemble my old pops. I'm just saying, I can relate. I might have been with my girl at the time, and I might have loved her, had some feelings, what I thought was stronger than the person that I might have went and just made a new baby with. And I'm like, yeah, we made a baby, but I ain't really want to do that, but I'm just not going to turn down an opportunity. So let me tell you how that affected me in my parenting. Just to say, I don't believe in abortion, but it's a couple of baby mamas I wish I never had a baby with. I really wish I had the nuclear family. I wish I had all my kids by one by one woman. And I wish it would have always been that way. But I wasn't thinking about that then, right? Because I didn't have that God imprinted thing about nuclear. When I started to get into that frame of mind, I had met God. I'm like, Dad, yeah, that's dope. That's the way it's supposed to be. About then, I already got 2-3 kids. But I done made these babies, right? And I wasn't thinking about the financial aspect, but what I thought about, because how I felt about my daddy, yeah. But they gonna know who their daddy is. I ain't like it's a couple of them. I don't hate nobody, but man, I felt hatred in my heart for some of these women. But I'm like, I ain't gonna do the baby like that though. Baby gonna know who his daddy is. And so remorseful for the child. I let my kids run all over me and be disrespectful just from the guilt, because I don't want them to look at me like how I was perceived my daddy. Oh man, I ain't about to let my child be out here lost. Let me go make sure this little MF or mine. Let me go make sure. Let me take this blood test, because I'm not about to leave one of mine out here in this world to get destroyed. But still, with the lack of proper training, it's and bringing them in here without the proper provisions from the Lord and proper training, they can still be destroyed, because I still went about it the wrong way. But my thought process was, I'm doing everything from my perception of what my daddy didn't do. Actually, I ain't doing nothing but something what my daddy did. I'm just doing it more. I'm just being a weekend daddy. I'm being a sometimes daddy. My daddy was a sometimes daddy when he could be. So it affected me. It affected my parenting, how I perceived things. My daddy was a hard man. I seen him beat the crap out of my brother. I got a case for beating the crap out of myself, but we're going to get to that. I don't even want to, because we got an episode about that coming up. But let's just say I took some parenting skills that wasn't so good from my daddy, or what I thought perception of my daddy was. I want to teach all my kids how to play chess. I just ain't had time to. The things I had, what can I get in my kids that my daddy gave me? I don't know much, because he didn't talk a lot about what he was, but I know the thing, he was a man that went to work all the time. I seen him go to work. He had a wife. I got a wife. I seen my daddy do some things that, and when he taught us how to play chess. Nice game. I was like, yeah, well, that's one thing I could pass to my kids. It's a nice game. And it's strategic. I ain't never really been a strategic dude, but I know how to play chess. So, this ain't about blaming somebody. This is about being aware. Being aware before you blame it all on your mom and all on your daddy, man. Take into consideration that they probably were not. You gotta look at their past and their background. Like I said, my daddy started doing drugs when I left. Guess what? I ain't saying that I'm just that guy and he started to do dope because I left. But I really felt like that. I felt like he started smoking crack because he was hurt. He felt defeated. I probably was one of the things, and a multitude of other things that he had to go along. His marriage probably was going bad. He probably went crazy on my stepmom after they bust their move on him. Ain't no telling. Like I said, my daddy was a workout guru. Now I ain't never seen him with a drink of beer, or liquor, or nothing. I do know, I used to smell them little joints though. I used to smell them little joints coming from the room every now and again, but not a lot. Not a lot. They didn't have that stuff around us. We had a nice, clean house. Bro, we lived in a townhouse. I'm just saying, man. My daddy paid the bills. I watched him be a man. I got to experience a man being a man as far as he thought. I know what religion he was, but he was very militant. So I thought it may have been Muslim. And then my sister say, yeah, daddy believed in Jesus, but he thought he was a Muslim. I said, I don't know what that means, but I guess. You know what I'm saying? But he was really I could just remember a lot of things about his character. He was quiet. I talk way more than my daddy. He was quiet. He was serious. He was mean. But he was cool.
I like to say you talk way more than everybody.
he was cool. Why though?
Cause
I mean, well, why right now though?
I just,
I'm in a serious moment though.
I just like to make you smile.
Nah, I bet. Right. I can dig it. So yeah, man. It did have an impact on, because just think, if I didn't have those experiences and I didn't have the thought process I did, and I went and made them kids, a lot of them kids, they mamas I really ain't care nothing about. I'm just being transparent, and I probably wouldn't be their daddy. They probably be out here not knowing their daddy, searching for a daddy. Right. So you could say that worked that worked in my favor somewhat. Somewhat, not all the way. You could say, well, yeah, that, but not having the full experience of the father, the full experience of teaching me spiritual uh leadership, the full experience of just knowing and learning, you know what I'm saying? Uh what it was. Nah, I got the Lord's advocate on the side of me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it was deep, man, and I developed a lot of thought processes, and I get mad at my daddy still from time to time. I just don't like the fact that he was too private. This dude ain't talking, like, he was the only child for one. So I don't know none of my other family members on my daddy's side, except my brother and sister. And after us, that's it. Now I carry on the legacy. I was gonna change my last name to his last name on my own, but I was like, I'm gonna change it to something the God gave me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Lord's advocate. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, basically,
You calling me names.
basically, I I had some negative things from that experience, really more negatives than positive happened to me. But the best positive, that all of this led me into finding who God was. Because if I didn't have that story of fatherless home, that story of wrong thinking patterns, uh, misguidedness, it wouldn't have led me to getting locked up in jail and meeting Jesus Christ. I mean, I just had to say that in a nutshell, not to make a long story short. But my experience with my father was short. Nonetheless, I seen him when I was born, and I seen him when he died. And I love him, and I love my mama. That's my first daddy issue. So before we even, like I said, I just wanted to go to the root of what developed me into who I've grown to be today, my thought processes. I understand. That's crazy how I can understand more about my mother and father's relationship based on my own relationships with the mothers of my children, and the way I feel and the way I wanted to move. Actually, some of the ways I move with my children's mother, positive and negative sometimes, be off of, I know how he played my mama, or this how he should have did my mama, or yeah, my mama played him like that. So yeah, she ain't right. So I just remember all of these things, and it comes into play. It comes into play. It's crazy, the things that I would sometimes be going through. This gonna sound crazy to y'all. I'll be sometimes thinking I'll be going through something with one of my baby mamas, and it's back in the day. And I just be thinking like, man, I know it. I just start talking to the air like, dude, I know what you felt like. I know this is that. This is why you did this. I know this is why you made this move. That's how that might sound crazy, and it might be allegedly, but I really believe with my heart of hearts, this is why he did this. This has to be the same feeling he projected. And I know it seemed like I'm throwing a dart in the dark, but I just know it. I can feel it. Like, so Yeah. So, Rolling Stone. Yeah, but I know my I know I'm married now, and so that ain't gonna happen. I'm talking to you, Steve. I'm married now, so I ain't got to worry about mixing with a relative. And secondly, I know his children from marriage, and then his other children, like almost old as my mama. Like they just crazy. Like, I got a sister like 55, and I got a sister that live in California. That I'm never gonna meet these people. I mean, I met my oldest sister on my daddy's side once. Her name Rochelle. Like, I met her a long time ago. But like my other brothers and sisters, but I was like, yeah, them like we lived like we family. Like I really feel like I lived in the house with my little sister all my life and my brother. I fought my big brother. I fought like I beat up my little brother. He beat me up. Like, it was like they the same. They're not different. It's just like one on my mama's side and one on my daddy's side. I just feel the same about them. Like, I love my little sister. Like, like I still feel I'm like, man, I think God does things, or maybe situations and circumstances went away. On one hand, I said maybe if I stayed with him, I'd have been better off. But then when I think about what happened after I left, what if it would have happened when I was still there though? I was getting good developmental skills, but what if he would have started getting addicted down there when I was down there? Because they said my brother became a big time drug dealer. He still went to college though. They say he was down there knocking dudes out and doing had the town sold up. Like, what if what if what if what if what if well, he ain't had no brothers and sisters, so I mean it had to be a fifth, sixth cousin. You know what I'm saying? But it's just what if and then my other sisters, they live out of town and stuff, so I don't know. But what if I'd have moved down there and then I'd have been a monster with confidence then. Super crazy, smart, intelligent, overconfident, big meat. I probably been big meat. But then again, on the flip side, what if I liked hip hop? What if I'd have became one of these big rap stars? It's just anything could have happened.
What if you would have been dead?
Or I could. Come on, man. We ain't got to talk about that. But
can't leave that.
Yeah. Anything could have. Well, let me tell a story. I was gonna get to that, but you keep. Hey, man. I'm tired of you stepping on my toes,
I'm
though.
the Lord's advocate.
that is the Lord's advocate. Like, what if you'd have been dead, though? But yeah, what if I'd have been dead? What if I'd have died? What if I'd have got blazed? Nah, I had to get extra with him. What if I'd have went out in the blaze of glory? But yeah, man, anything could have happened. I never can write the rest of that. I can never write the rest of that story. And like I said, the one thing I do fault my daddy for is because I felt like I didn't know him as much as I wanted to know him, and I didn't have that relationship. But I still got a chance with my Father in heaven to find out about him and get a deeper, intricate relationship with him. And, like he revealed that stuff to me, he'll reveal all things to me in the end. Does it really matter? I get to the point where I need to be right now by way of all of those things that happen. So it's an open panel conversation. So I'm about to shoot out these links. I got a couple people that want to come in and talk about the stuff. So let me get to shooting out these links. You know what I'm saying?
This podcast is sponsored not in part by, but fully by Yahweh.
Right. What about? Anybody watching, anybody tune in, want me to shoot them this link, let me know. Come in, chime in, I'll shoot you the link and give me your output on your relationship with your father, how it affected your parenting, how it affected your mental, how it affected you spiritually, all of that. Chime in. I'm shooting the link out right now. Go ahead. You can leave it. Just drop a comment. Say, send it to me. I'm going to shoot it to you. Oh, yeah. I also need to shoot this too. Yeah, now tuning in. All right. Waiting on my people maybe to tune on in. If you want to tune in, request the link and I will bring you right in. That's definitely, we talking about Papa was a Rolling Stone.
I mean, I could, you know,
you definitely got enough to add to this. I was waiting.
But you know, sometimes I share, sometimes, you know.
This is the best. This is what this is about.
I mean, you know,
you've been talking about it all year. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
You might be tired of my story.
Nah. It's for the people, Mike.
But I don't know, man. I can't really speak on, you know, my daddy issues or relationship with my father affect my parenting because, you know, I ain't there yet.
How it affected you spiritually and mentally, your development.
Well, I don't know. I think definitely when I was little, when my stepdad was abusive, I was angry. And the crazy part about it is I was angry with my father because he didn't come to my rescue, but he also didn't know. But I felt like you should know. Like I would have known.
Right.
I would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have been hands-on with my child enough to notice changes, to notice scars and whelps and bruises and cuts, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I think I don't know. I always knew my daddy, but you know, I didn't have I noticed the difference in how he treated my brothers and my older sister versus how he treated me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my sister mama, he was in love with her, so you know, that's his favorite girl, my sister. And then he was married to my brother's mama, so you know, I didn't get the. I never forget it. One time it was my first nephew's birthday, and he took me to what up, Corn? He took us to Kmart, and he bought.
Hey, Steve, I sent you the link. If you want to tap in, I inboxed it to you, Corn. If you want to tap in, you can come in on screen, bro. All you gotta do is tap this link, and it's gonna do the rest for you. Just go ahead and tap on in, man. I would love to see you.
Yeah, but you know, he took us to Kmart to get ready for the birthday party and bought my little brother's brand new, you know, track suits, the swishy suits. And he gave me one of his to wear. I'm like,
yeah,
nah,
I ain't gonna have situations like that.
Like I was like, nope, I ain't wearing it. No, I don't want to wear it. I'll wear my clothes. He was like, why you don't want to? Like,
I just seen what you did.
First off, I could see if you was giving me the tracksuit, like you can have it. He was letting me borrow it, and then I was going to give it back. Then he brought my brother's brand new ones. I'm like, I remember Christmases. I was never over there on Christmas, But I would come like, a week or two after Christmas and I see they toys and stuff. I ain't never get nothing. And I don't I don't know. I didn't realize. I don't. Sometimes I don't even think he realized what he was doing. Because I never felt like my daddy didn't love me. But when I would ask him for something, I remember he would always say, "Your mama get child support." But he later revealed to me that he didn't pay much in child support for me and my. He said, "You know what? I always respect your mama. Your mama, because she never raised the child support on me. My daddy was paying like $40 every 2 weeks or every week for me. Something short. You know what I'm saying? And I asked him for school clothes or school shoes once or twice. He and a couple times, and every time he said, "Your mama get child support." I'm like, and I never asked him for nothing else. And it took me to get grown. And I was talking to you about Javon. And when I told you about how to treat him, regardless of how you felt about his mama, because my mama wasn't never no hood rat or nothing like that. But my mama was my aunt's friend. My daddy was sneaking and geeking with my mama, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just his little sister's friend. They wasn't never together. They wasn't never nothing.
Right.
So, and I just figured because when we got older, me and my daddy started spending a lot of time together. I would cut grass with him a couple times a week. He was teaching me how to drive, so we was stuck in the car for hours. We was just together, mass around the time when I was like, "Hey, what's up, narrator?"
What up?
Around the time I was 16, 17, 18, we was together a lot. And me, I'm the we gonna have this conversation. I'm gonna ask certain questions. And he just started revealing stuff. He just started telling me stuff like my sister's mama was the love of his life and his first heartbreak. He ain't never been the same after that. And then he was in love with my brother's well, not in love like that, but he married her and this, that, and that. And I just started putting stuff together like, oh, so
Yeah.
you didn't really feel anything for my mama and you treated me that way.
And it's just like I said. You see how you break things down?
Mm-hmm.
Like when they reveal their hand,
Mm-hmm.
my mama revealed her hand like, yeah, your daddy got mad at child support and your daddy said if I pay child support, let me get him. But the whole time you sitting here talking to me like this. I know how you feel about your daddy not being there, but you knew the whole time he wanted me.
Mm-hmm. It was and just certain stuff, that he would be transparent and tell me that he would basically confirm something that my mama told me, like some foul stuff that he didn't think my mama knew he did, but my mama told me he did it, and then he confirmed later that he did it, not knowing my mama told me that. Like I was thinking, like, yeah, my mama told me you did that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get all into that because I don't really want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's a couple foul things. But
hold on real quick. If you watching, if you tuning in, we doing this podcast, Push the Rock podcast. This is Daddy Issues, issue number 1. Papa was a Rolling Stone, based on loosely around the song and loosely around. If your father was in your life, if he was halfway in your life, if you didn't know your daddy, if you had your daddy full time, if you had your daddy half of the time. This is an open panel discussion, and we want to talk about how that relationship affected you. How did it affect you, your development? How did it affect you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and your parenting, if you are a parent?
So I do remember I do remember feeling rejection from my daddy when I was little. Is I remember one time that he was supposed to get me and he didn't come and get me, and I never forget that. And then another time after that, he was supposed to come and get me for an Easter ball or Easter party or something. He was uh it was this club in on Vine Street, right? You know where the Vine and Forest where the drive through at, and then down the street right by Vine Street Cemetery. It used to be a club or something. It was like a church, or been a whole bunch of things. But when we was little, it was like a club or something. Like this Vine Street Cemetery. He ain't paying no attention.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. He said by Vine Street. You just
anyway. So
you describe. I was just sending a link.
I know. But what up, Alan? But so he was supposed to come and get me, and I was in the house waiting, and he never came. He sat outside. He came, but he didn't get out the car and come to the door and get his 6-7-year-old son. He sat in the car and blew the horn.
That made you feel some type of way.
Because when I came out, he was driving down the street. I'm like,
you weren't even trying. Yeah, man. I had the same thing. I had the same thing with my daddy when I lived down. Remember the high tech boots? I don't know if y'all had the high tech boot thing going on when we was when we Jamar Bless Crown of Glory 360 at dollar sign Crown of Glory 360. But the thing is, you know what I thought? The high tech boots. I don't know if y'all was hip to them there. It was real big in Cincinnati. I mean in Atlanta. They was the high tech boots looked like army boots. They was black.
I don't remember.
And yeah.
What up, Clarence?
He got my sister and my brother the high tech boots. Everybody's right. Guess what he brought me? The Ewans.
I would have rather run the Ewans.
I wanted to. Everybody had the high tech boots. You had to be down in Atlanta to know what I'm talking about. That was the thing, man. He got me the Ewans. He could have bought me some J's or something, man. They had the high tech boots.
The Ewans. Anyway,
man. Remember he bought me the.
Well.
Remember he bought me the Ewans in 6th grade. I had with the straps all around them. I had the baddest ones. But
I think you know what the year I'm thinking you got the Ewans, they wasn't cool no more.
The year I got the Ewans, they was
the ones you talking about when you got them and you didn't want.
Man, they got the high tech boots, man. I ain't gonna play me. I wanted that. Hey, Pastor C, I want the high tech boots, baby. I want the high tech. So I was just telling Rico, I feel he said his daddy tried to buy his brothers. They bought him some fresh tracksuits to try to make him. Yeah, he gonna come in. With them high tech boots, and they high. Here go yours. I'm looking like Ewans. Already, I had these year, but this ain't gonna work this year. They was dope last year. They ain't dope this year.
Yeah.
Hit me with the high tech. I know the high tech boots had to cost 180 something.
I mean, for real, man. Daddy issues. I'm still sorting out my daddy issues this year. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said you've been talking about it for a whole year.
Yeah, my daddy had a what we thought was a heart attack, like in the summer, like early summertime, and that we had already had a discussion before then, and when he almost died, that's when he finally unblocked me, and went to the hospital. He met care, and the baby was on the way. So but it still ain't our and I think sometimes unrealistically we expect or try to want relationships and situations to go back to the way they was. Our relationship ain't how it used to be, and maybe it won't never be. Maybe it'll just be. I mean, I hope it gets better than what it is. I mean, I don't.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the only gripe I got with Pops.
Mhm.
Like I tell you, the last time I talked to him was in 2013. He was always giving me directions.
Mhm.
And every time he tell me something, he never told me anything wrong. It was always for the betterment for me. He wanted his boys to be boys, men's, and he wanted us to play chess. Right? Right? He wanted us to go to college and play football and do all that stuff. He wanted to do that. That's from the little, but I didn't know anything personal. I didn't have that kind of like, I didn't get to have that, how you got to ask those important questions of why is this or why is this like that. Mm-hmm. My daddy was straightforward. This is this. This is this. Hey boy, don't go back to jail no more. All right. And so I griped him for not feeling like I had enough information to process, to understand why am I like this. I basically got to go off, just like I said, with the mama thing. I'm thinking like, dang, this is why I feel like this about her. Yeah. And I can almost, I'm pretty 85% sure. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He remember he gonna copy for my sister and my brother, and then this is gonna get me to. Come on, man. I want the high tech boots. Everybody had them in the A. So yeah, man. So
I mean, man, I don't know, man. A thing that helps me. I don't know. What up, Alan? A thing that helped me sort through my daddy issues is thinking about his daddy issues and his
same thing I said.
Daddy and his mama's daddy's issues. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandmama, my great grandfather, and my great grandmother didn't even get married until my great granddaddy was about to die. Like he was about to die, and he was like, let me go ahead and get married to you. And I ain't saying this is what he said, but they were not married for so long. And then he got sick, and then it's like, so she can get whatever insurance or whatever. But he was an alcoholic. He was a gambler and a hustler. You know what I'm saying? He was, and then, man, for real, crazy thing. My grandmama, my father's mother, at my uncle's funeral, my daddy's brother funeral, my uncle's daddy's family was saying how much my daddy looked like my uncle's daddy, but they got different daddies, allegedly. So I asked my grandma, and I'll never forget. We was in a limo, and my daddy asked my grandmama. She said, "Why they keep talking about who I look like?" And my daddy looked like his mama. Right. Like if you see my grandmama and my daddy, like that's like, you know what I'm saying? But I never forget my grandmama laughed. She said, "Boy, your daddy who I say your daddy is." Ooh. And I asked my grandmama, I asked her. It
was bold.
I said, my dear, remember at Uncle Tad's funeral, you said such, 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 such? And she said, uh-huh. I said, what you mean by that? She gonna say, well, I can't. She said, this is what I'm gonna say. I was married to Tab's daddy. He was halfway. He wasn't a daddy at all. Tab, your uncle's daddy, your Uncle Eric and your Uncle Tab daddy, he wasn't a daddy at all. She said, I was messing with your daddy's daddy and him at the same time. I don't really know.
Ooh,
So she said, but I gave your daddy a father because I knew he was going to be more of a father than him. So I gave your daddy I'm like, so, but she didn't say that ain't his daddy. This is daddy. What she said was, I gave your daddy a daddy.
That's deep.
So my daddy don't even know who his daddy is for sure. So I could imagine how crazy that was. 14 kids. I got a brother had 13 kids. He just died this year.
And man,
13 real kids. Then part of the big reason why me and my daddy fell out 6-7 years ago when our relationship was super fractured, because I had two other sisters that he never rocked with until they was grown, and he treated one girl and two boys like his favorites, and then he treated me and my other two sisters like we was the side babies. Me a little different because I came up with him and he loved me and I loved him. But you can't get away, man. For real, it was a lot of times in my life. I felt my stepdad. I felt like he loved me more than my daddy.
Mm.
And although my stepdad, he was an alcoholic and a substance abuser from time to time, man, he made me feel like I was his son. Like the feeling that you for real get from a father, like building you up as a boy, confidence, you handsome, hugging you, kissing you, rubbing your head and cutting your hair.
Can I say something contrary to this? And Pastor C, can you hear? Pastor C.
Yeah.
Now, this is my contrary to what he said. Now, you say your stepdaddy made you feel like his son. I told you, my mama doubled back with my sister's daddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was born, my daddy gone. He married. He got his own wife. I'm in the middle of his family. Like I got one to live in California, another one to live in Columbus. I don't know them, and then I know. Like I said, my brother and sister from my daddy's wife, his widow, now she married to somebody else. From her, they like my brother and sister on my mama's side. I know them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
I get mad and I don't call you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That type thing. But contrary to that, I didn't want nobody. Once I know my daddy, I didn't want nobody else to be my daddy.
Yeah.
You couldn't make me feel like, Dad, he loved me more than my dad, because I wouldn't even accept it. I ain't want that. So, Pastor Clarence, remember I had the issue with, how could y'all call another man dad? Like, that don't, you know what I'm saying? But but Elton, that's not how I feel. I never wanted no stepdaddy. I didn't care about that. Like, I want it. I know my daddy. That's how I felt. So,
put that back up, Carrie. What you say, Charlie? What Charlie say?
He said, they say stepdaddies are better than real daddies. How do y'all feel about that? Your daddy was lying. I mean, he was who he was, but do you think you wanted a stepdaddy?
A stepdaddy is a man that marries your father, your mother. So if you didn't have, if they weren't married, he wasn't your stepfather. Because the reason I say that is because my stepdad was there from I was 5, 6 years old all the way till I was 14, 15.
That ain't funny. I feel that. My stepdad like my brother now. What I said, my daddy just, once I found out who my daddy was, I knew who my daddy was. As soon as I seen my daddy, you know, my wife said the same thing. She said when she seen her daddy, she said the first time she ever laid out, she said, "Oh, I know that's my daddy."
But see, I never felt like my daddy wasn't my daddy.
Right. I never in my mind, I never slighted my father because I love my father. I knew my father. I was around my father's family. It wasn't like I was some estranged kid. He just didn't buy me stuff. For real, that's the situation. When I was little,
My daddy just didn't buy me things. He didn't come and get me all the time. But I knew him. I was around his.
You're the oldest too, ain't you?
Nah, I got a sister older than me.
Jackie older than you?
Yeah. Oh, and then she 3 years older than me, and then me, and then it's everybody else. So, but I was around him. So but my stepdaddy lived with me every single day. He bought me Christmas. He bought me school clothes, and he was there. He taught me how to fight. He told me about girls. He was there every single day, and he went out of his way to say, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, but this is just how he rocked. My daddy didn't come around like that. He wasn't around like that, and he really didn't pay much in child support, and he didn't buy me nothing, right? So my stepdad was like, I'm your daddy. Don't worry about none of that. I'm your daddy.
Right.
You my son. And I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. You mine.
So
and he followed through on that. Now, the crazy part is he was also abusive at times. But man, to that man died a couple. That's my dog. You know what I'm saying? What up, C? What's happening, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hold on, why can't I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Hold on. Why can't I hear clearance?
Because it did say his mic was muted, but you said that don't be mattering, but it said that though.
Well, let me see something. Wait a minute, Clarence. Hey, Alan, say something. Let me see if it's doing the same thing for Alan.
Okay, can you hear me?
No, your daddy took care of you.
Mama no, I can't hear Alan either. Huh. Let me see something. Huh. That's weird. Why can't I hear? Struggle streaming at its best.
My dad was a real pimp. You look like your daddy too. You.
Hey, y'all. Excuse me.
You heard me, Corn.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Rick.
Oh, hold on.
Hey, Rico.
I can hear you now.
That was me. I got a sign out for him.
Alan, you can tell Alan about this background. I'm sick of it. Hold on, y'all. Oh my goodness. What's going on? Do. That's crazy. We was gonna be twins. I was wearing my polo today too.
Let me make sure.
You still hear everybody?
Make sure. Make sure. All right.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Now we got you, Clarence. We can hear you now.
Okay.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Where'd it go?
I don't know. He should be able to hear us. He should be.
He ain't even on the thing no more. Like he went out. Yeah, man. You just revealed the trauma on me.
What?
You know what I'm saying? You want the dope tracksuit, and I want them high tech boots, bro. You play gave me on the high tech boots. I think it was because of my grades too.
Oh, okay. But I don't know, man. I do know that I could hear. I don't know what y'all was on. Well, let's see if y'all can hear him when they come back on, or if they come back up. So, but what was I about to say? Yeah. So so enter 1992, 1993, where my stepfather is addicted. He's gone. My dad is working. He ain't there. Hip hop is able to come in and be my father.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So then I get all of the worst stereotypes and worst ideas because both of my fathers are dropping the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I thank God for my mama, because, my mama, I would never say my mama was my father, because she could have never been.
I've never said that.
You know what I'm saying? I hate when women say I'm mama and daddy. Nah, you just mama overtime.
Like I said, I'm just salty that my stepmama, my mama played tetherball like that. They could, because I don't like. It's just crazy, man. Because I mean, I don't regret nothing, but it's just like, man, I could have had a better relationship had they not pulled that move. Because they women, it was based off their emotions.
Yeah,
how they felt. They seem. I mean, of course, my stepmama knew how my brother was down there. How my and I don't know. Maybe behind closed doors, he sleep with that woman. Maybe he was saying stuff to her to make him feel like, yeah, he need to go home. I don't want.
Oh, you mean
they could have been pillow talking, and he could have been like, yeah, you saying whatever, but I just don't believe that from my daddy's reaction towards me, blaming a child, saying, "You want to leave?"
I see you got here. How did your father's role affect your parenting? I think, although I'm not a parent yet, I think my father, both of my fathers, my stepfather and my natural father, I think they
you answered the first question already.
Because somehow my mama was able to instill, by way of the Holy Spirit, of course, she was able to instill in me and kind of put the pieces together as to what a father is supposed to be by explaining. And my mother never talked bad about my father or my stepfather.
Right.
She didn't give me a bad, and you know what? And I thank God for that, because I saw the negatives, I saw the flaws, but I was able to see all the good stuff. Like my stepdad would say a little slick stuff about my natural father, and my natural father say a little slick stuff about my stepfather. But even then, even that young, I understood, like, I don't care what you say, I know him and I love him. And I don't care what you say, I know him and I love him. You know what I'm saying? And they never clashed and came together, and you know what I'm saying? None of that. So, but I was able to see all of the good things from my stepfather, and I was able to see all of the good things from my father. And my mother was, I guess, the glue to kind of piece it all together and tell me what the Heavenly Father is, and tell me what a real, and then point out the things about my natural father. Like, okay, don't do none of those things.
You know
and then don't do none of these things that your stepdaddy doing over here.
You know what? I think that's the dopest thing. I love Mama Didi for that. I think that's dope because you didn't get the mental play on you.
Nah.
She never did those mental plays on you. Like I told you, my mama used to do. Oh yeah, daddy, right? Mm-hmm. She never gave you an opinion. She gave you the opportunity to choose for yourself without even saying, I'm going to give you an opportunity. Mm-hmm. She just gave you the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And then if you had questions, then she could have added. But it was enough. You didn't have to go through that.
Only time my mama even remotely said something negative about my father was I got my own father. Brittany has his own father, and then my 5 brothers and my 5 youngest brothers and sisters are all by my stepfather. And then, as siblings with different fathers, y'all tease and talk trash to each other, and dispute or debate or whatever, something childish came up about each other's fathers, and we're comparing fathers now. And me being the oldest, I'm still immature. We kids. I'm probably, 15, 16. I'm young. But, we talking trash amongst each other about fathers and this, that, and that. And and by me being the oldest, she stopped me like don't try to pump your daddy up. Because I can tell you about all y'all daddy. So don't do it. None of y'all do that. Because ain't none of y'all daddy father of the year. That's the only, and that's the only time my mama ever said something. You know what I'm saying?
I remember the other one though. It wasn't negative, but it was you want us to call your daddy. He was doing something.
Nah, that wasn't nothing.
That was real.
Yeah, that wasn't her saying nothing negative about, because when I think I was Saudi, and I was trying to guilt her into getting me some shoes or something, and she said, call your daddy. Because she knew he wasn't going, because we've been through this. We've been through your mama get, you know what I'm saying? And my daddy, when I was kid, now
my daddy never said that.
What?
Even when I was staying with him, I paid child support for you. None of that. He just went and swooped down. He never said that. He never done that.
Yeah.
My perception, that's what I'm saying. If you cook it up in the pot and you go off of things that people have said, what she said, your daddy paid, he was making good money. He always paid his child support. He never missed the payment. Look, he made good money. Mm-hmm. He paid his child support. He never missed the payment. If you cook, she said, I think he paid all the way up until the day he died. Look.
Now, my mama said, call your daddy that one time, because I knew she ain't had a bread, and I was trying to guilt her into buying me something she really couldn't afford, and she was like, well, call your daddy then, because I got you this. You don't want that. Call your daddy then.
Right. Now think about my mama never told me to call my daddy. She said that to you because your daddy gonna come through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying.
What up, Alan?
The way
what's going on? What's going on, brother?
I'm talking to you, Charlie. But the way she cooked it up, I always thought my daddy was a piece of trash, ain't paid child support, ain't do nothing, until she revealed it all after he died. Like, yeah, your daddy paid. I'm like, well, why I get the Charlie over there talking about my daddy took it. Really, my daddy took care of everybody. If we want to throw that around. So allegedly. All right. So he got his money. He paid his child support. He said, send me my son. Says, I pay for him. Send him to me. Mm-hmm.
not to get his child support cut off though. Because guess what? If that was discussion, she would have said it. Because guess what? That's what they do. And they, as in the baby mamas, they'll do that. Oh, he tried to get it and say cut off his child. Nah, she didn't say that. And when I got down there, matter of fact,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and then when
he only wanted you because he didn't want to pay child support.
Right, but that wasn't the deal. Because every time from the time I moved with my grandma, when I needed to get cashed out, I got cashed out. You see how I'm coming to 6th grade with a pocket full of money. Where I had money. Like, so I was having, you know what I mean? Then my grandma gave me money. I flew down there for, like, come on, Atlanta ain't that far. I could have got on a Greyhound. They flew me down there for Christmas. I flew down. I moved down there on an airplane. I moved down there on an airplane. I flew up in there and down there on Christmas. Then when I moved down there the next school year, I flew down there. When he came back to Cincinnati, he brought me some Jason Kids, bro. I'll never forget. It was the loudest Nikes I had ever got at that time. I knew them shoes cost like $200 or something. So you bring me all this stuff later on, how she cooked it up, how she whipped it up in the pot, like to make me believe Papa was like, why you like Papa was a Rolling Stone on like an 8-year-old? We come on, we gonna let Mama Sandy breathe.
No. After you bust me down with the, I know how you be feeling when your daddy ain't there, and I'm just thinking like, I wasn't thinking of, but like I said, I also, as a disclaimer, I also said I don't know what type of behaviors I was displaying to make her feel like maybe it's because he ain't got his daddy. So I don't know, man. But what's up, Al?
What's going on, fellas? I'm going to just pop in here briefly. We've got a lot of activity going on in the house.
Oh, okay.
We've got a sleepover going on. But what's going on, man?
I just want to say, man, I can only see your head right now, B. we got to do something about the background, B.
It's just this thing that's, I try to, I don't know what's going on. Probably because of the lighting, but
there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, good conversation y'all having, man. I heard a little bit of your testimony, Jamal. Hey, I'm in the same boat, bro. I guess we all young black men went through the absentee father thing,
Yeah.
The difference with my mom, she wasn't bitter.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything bad about him, man. She let me find out for myself, and for the majority of my teenage life, my dad didn't start to like, what I would say, pay attention. What's going on, brother?
Well, I just figured it out. Hold on, my bad. Let me say one thing. I just figured it out by arguing with my little brother in my head because I want to just zap my little brother real quick because he talking stuff. But I just realized why it was different. Because, Elton, my daddy was with Marvin Daddy for years. My mama was with your daddy for years. My daddy was married when he messed with mama. They weren't together, never. Mama was a side piece. I hate to say that. I ain't down on my mama. That's just what it was. So that's the difference. That's why it was different. Go ahead, bro. I just caught that.
That's why what was different?
That's why. That's
why you got treated different.
It's just like how.
Hold on, that just registered.
Well, yeah.
I told you that 20 years ago.
No. I ain't talking about from my daddy though. I'm talking about from my mama.
Oh,
that's why.
Oh,
it can come from a woman too.
Yeah.
You never thought about the psychology of that because we love our mamas.
Well, I did. I've thought about that. I just didn't apply it to you. I've seen that in other people and even in my family and my cousins. Like I know cousins that got mamas that treat one different because of the relationship with the father. So yeah, but
Yeah, she had we lived with my sister's daddy before I was even thought about she was with him. She doubled back and got with him again. Had me calling this dude daddy when she got back with dude. Then my daddy said, "No, I don't like." She called my sister daddy a funny name. So yeah, she said, I don't like this. Is my son, and I said, "Yeah, I am your son." Yeah. Lionel Richie, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I am your son. And then but then after that, she got with Charlie Daddy, and Charlie Daddy, that was her dude that we lived with him. You know what I'm saying? She never that's crazy. That whole time.
Yeah. I know plenty of people like
that. My daddy was married. Listen, I got a big brother. He 40s. Like I'm 42, so he's 44, right? 40, about to be 45. And my little sister, my Charlie, what 30? However old Charlie is.
How old is you, Charlie?
She like a year older than him or something like that. So if he 30, I think Charlie 36, he 37, right? So yeah, that's crazy. So and he's married to this woman, and my mama, they did the baby, they fought and everything. So that's crazy. Yeah. You was with them dudes. You weren't with my daddy. My daddy was married. I'm a victim. I'm hopeless.
He said he's 37.
She 38 then. Yeah, man. Yeah. So dang, that's crazy. I didn't know that. We always looking at the daddy.
Wow. Well, we focused on the daddy because the conversation came up because I was talking about you and your son. So we never thought about how it could be that way with women as it pertains to us, because my mama didn't do that. So I definitely didn't. But I definitely know for a fact family members where one kid is treated differently by the mother because of how she felt about the father.
All my kids get treated different by their mamas because of me. Even
if they got more than one kid.
Yeah, if they got more than one kid, like all the ones who got more than one kid, and them was the ones I just went, you know what I mean? But I just think my kids get like some of them get treated special and some of them get treated like trash. Like my son per se, he probably watching this. But his brother get treated like, and it's from the beginning, treated like gold. But because of the relationship me and his mama, she treated him so she programming, man. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, so but I didn't think that about my own mama. But now I say, well, that makes sense. She was never with him.
Yes, sir, Charlie.
So yeah, she was with my sister daddy for mad years. Then she was with my brother daddy for like 4-5 years. So I just came through. My daddy I'm like that. That's how it was. That's crazy. I never realized that. But think about it.
So you was a break baby from your mama and your daddy, because your mama got back with Marva daddy after she had you. So she was with Marva daddy, broke up, had you, got back with Marva daddy.
Hey Rico, I gotta go, bro.
Okay.
My bad, Alan.
And yeah, you was just caught in the middle of
Dang. So guess what? He got to he got to save face because he married. You know.
So you would never have this conversation with one person with multiple kids and one baby father. Charlie, come on the panel. What you talking about? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I kind of get what he's saying.
You want me to shoot you the link? I'm gonna shoot him the link.
Why you should have been shouting the link? He's probably working though.
Charlie's scared of the link.
He don't want these leak problems.
He ain't trying to be in the matrix.
He don't want,
But you in the matrix though.
you know what I'm saying? He don't want these link problems.
So let's see. What is a father?
Tap in, Charlie.
No, he said he off.
Tap in. I sent you the link.
So he said he want all the smoke. Menthol.
He definitely want menthol smoke, don't he? Yeah, man. Hey, it's just tap that link. It's in your messenger, bro. So yeah, man. Hey, hold on. Before we even go,
we got a troll. Then we got the
who trolling?
Somebody I'm about to blizzard. Oh, Kara already got him.
Man, that's wild.
So, what is a father to you? You got that here,
man. This is what Pastor C. That's a question he asked me, and yeah, I'm over here. Yes, I'm over here mad about over that, because you can look at one instance and I could be like, yeah, that was my whole identity for 30-something years, 38 to be exact, because I had a rap song. I said, man, my daddy was my sponsor, made me a monster. Look how he played my mama, like trash in the dumpster. Guess she was a side chick, so I was just a side kid. Something like a sidekick, nothing like a sidekick, something just to hide shit. Right?
What up, though?
What up?
What up, Charlie?
You smack. You look like you drink.
Yeah. So I'm here. I hear what y'all talking about, right?
If you start trolling, we gonna get you out of here. I'm just telling you.
Troll y'all, man. Y'all don't need no trolling, but I love y'all brothers. But look, check this out. I hear everything y'all saying, but what I'm saying is,
quit talking about your mama.
Nah, when y'all having multiple baby mamas, baby daddies, and all that, it's gonna always be this conversation, man. And when I say you would never hear this conversation with people with multiple kids with the same father, it won't be that, because what's the point of having that?
Well, it's about, you can have the one father and he can still be a piece of crap.
Yeah, that's true. That might be true and all.
That don't always make it right.
The whole thing is, when you have a woman that has multiple baby daddies, you either gonna have a good baby daddy. Even if you got 4 baby daddies, all 4 of them ain't gonna be good. 2 of them gonna be a piece of crap. 1 of them gonna be the best, and 1 of them gonna be the one who just he do this, do that, but he ain't gonna always be 100%. So the conversation is basically always going to be one-sided, because it's just no way around it.
So you basically just saying the more it's complications automatically just because it's multiple fathers and multiple mothers.
Yeah, he definitely agree with us.
Yeah. Outside of God's
look at Corey Tyler. What's up, Charlie?
I mean, our mama, like I said, our mama, we all got different daddies, and our mama got something to say about all our daddies. Like I said, some might be good, some might be bad. That's what it's gonna be.
But my thing is, now I got my victim stance on. I got slam ducked on both ends. See, I thought I blamed this whole joint on my daddy, then found out from my mama that my daddy, your mama, see, you don't know nothing about this. She showed her hand and was like, your daddy was this, she did this, he paid all this money. I'm like, where was the gear at, G? You know what I'm saying?
I just talked to your mama, man. I told her to tune in. She tuned in. I think she tuned in for like 7 minutes. That's why I said he ain't going for that. She ain't going.
Did
Sandy claims she don't know nothing that you talking about. So,
Of course you don't.
like
Allegedly.
I told her, it's nothing personal. Just listen to your son.
Allegedly. You shouldn't even tell her to tune in because I wouldn't have told her to tune in. I don't never tag her to none of this.
I was gonna send her a link.
She
It's
knows.
like, nah, yes, I do.
So she can
But
come
nah,
in.
she knows. She
She
knows.
knows.
She knows what she told me. She told me.
Look, all of our daddies had their ways, man. Puddin', James,
Nah,
your daddy,
nah, check
they
this out.
all had their ways,
But check
man.
this out. But check this out, Charlie. This is the point we making. Mama was with Marvin Daddy. She was with Marvin Daddy. Had another baby. She had Marvin. They had another baby. Lost that baby. Had me.
Mama was
Look, got back.
Mama was with all our daddies.
Look,
What you talking about?
nah.
That's how we hear.
Well,
She was with all our daddies.
what I'm saying is she was in relationships with y'all daddies, lived with them. They lived together. My daddy he was swinging through. He was married, bro. Like he got in and got out. That's what it was, man. I mean,
He was married when he was with mama.
yes.
Yeah, it sound like your daddy was like a lightweight thought then. Like I mean, what more can I say? Like
Yeah, we just gonna put that on my daddy though. You know what I'm saying?
rest in peace to all our daddies, because all our daddies dead. But at the end of the day, I mean, your daddy did what he did. He was a married man.
Yeah, it's easy to blame.
He obviously did something to mama where he got her and put it down, and Jamar Bless was here. But end of the day, I don't blame nobody, man. I don't blame nobody. My daddy wasn't a saint. He was a drunk. He liked to drink. He took care of us, though. He looked out for all of us. I remember when Marva came home. You remember when Marva came home?
Yeah, he played me. He gave Marvin a big bag. Ain't give me a bag at all.
And you was in your feelings, right?
Big in my feelings. Because
y'all don't want me on y'all show, man. Y'all don't want me on y'all show, man. All I'm saying is everybody got daddy. Everybody has daddy issues, man. Everybody miss their daddy. I know you miss your daddy. Marva miss her daddy. I miss my daddy. They did what they did.
But guess what though, man.
But listen here though. You to this day, you still my big brother / daddy, man. I only had two daddy friends. I ain't never had no step daddy ever. I had my daddy and I had my brother / daddy, man. And I had brothers from another mother like Rico. You feel me? B.O.B. I ain't never had no stepdaddy, so I don't know what that is. But when I say stepdaddy's making a comeback and they getting a lot of appreciation, because for real, stepdaddies these days, they going hard, man. They going real hard. Like daddies ain't in no more. Stepdaddies pushing their game up.
Daddies is in. You a daddy. What you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a daddy.
Yeah,
I'm a daddy.
This is what I want to say to you. This is how my daddy's relationship with me shaped me and want me to be, and how you know how I am with my kids, and how y'all say, oh, you was. That's because of how I felt. It was a reflection of not to reflect on what I thought my daddy was towards me. Now look at this. Check out the psychology on this. You and I never said this to you. I remember how your daddy treated you, like since you was a baby to grown to wherever he passed away. You're the same daddy to your children as your daddy was to you. I promise you, I can't make this up. You ain't missing the.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you are the best daddy figure ever, man. You literally up there with Nick Cannon, man. You got Nick Cannon numbers, man. You take care of all.
That's not a compliment, Charlie.
Man,
Nick Cannon.
No. I'm gonna tell you why it's a compliment, because he take care of all his Nick Cannon numbers. You hear me?
Financially,
that man take care of all his kids as a daddy.
How many kids he got?
I mean, I'm his brother. I lost count.
I'm talking about Nick Cannon.
He got
Nick
11.
Cannon got 12. Jamar got about 8. He
So
up there.
Nick, wait. Let me explain to you why it's not a compliment. Because Nick Cannon got 11, 12 kids. He cannot properly father all of them children.
Oh no, he only doing it because he's wealthy. But when you got a broke, but when you got a broke
he's not
boy like
doing it.
Jamar, not
My
saying you a
my
broke boy,
point is
but
he's not doing it. He's giving some bread, but Nick Cannon is not a good. That's not a compliment. But go ahead, finish
no,
it.
I'm not saying about that part. What I'm saying is to have multiple kids and take care of all of them, because there's dudes out here who got 3 kids and can't take care of one.
Yeah.
And Jamar is a regular dude. He don't have $1 million. He
I'm
don't
rich.
have his own talk show. He's not
I have my own talk show.
financially like stable for the rest of his life. He's
I'm
not financially stable for the rest of his life.
not
But
financially
that
stable
man
for the
takes
rest of my
care of
life.
his kids, man.
I'm financially stable for the rest
If
of my
anybody, oh yeah,
I got my own
okay,
talk show.
yeah, okay. Look, anybody who knows Jamar knows that. Anybody who knows Jamar knows that if y'all look on his Facebook, it's his kids, his wife, kids and wife. It ain't none of that bogus crap. It ain't no bull crap. It's his kids, his wife. He take care of all his kids with negative $5 million. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a big difference, man.
Who wanna start a GoFundMe, man?
Everybody need to, yeah.
I'm
Let's
talking
start a
about me.
GoFundMe.
Get me together. And I was saying, you gonna ask for the cash app. You could have just cashed out me the cheese, B. You could have just cashed out me the cheese, B. I'm like,
I just sent you enough money, man. I'm good. But look, listen, everybody needs to understand this whole father conversation. It can go a million ways, man. We would never have the appreciation like Mother's Day. How many times y'all see on Facebook about Mother's Day? Like, oh, yeah, Mother's Day, Father's Day. We don't get the same appreciation as mothers. We would never get that, man. It's men out here who take care of their 10, 11 kids, 3, 4, 2, 1. We don't get that. We don't get that appreciation. But a mother can have help with their kids from the father with 2 kids and be like, oh, she's the best mother in the world. Like, really?
So let me ask you a question, bro. Cause I'm running over time, but then
y'all like 2 hours and 21 minutes, man. Y'all passing up $1 million worth of game, man. What's going on, man? Y'all doing it big.
So let me ask you a question. This is gonna be my last question, and I'm gonna ask you and Rico this. I'm gonna ask you this first, brother, and I'm gonna ask Rico next. And this is my last one before I do the scripture. We running over time. We gotta erase some stuff out the stuff so we don't go through this on tomorrow. What are some strong components to being a father? What would you say? What's some strong things to being a father? What are some components, some attributes?
Time, true love, and absolutely number 1, absolutely just being a genuine father who love their kids. A lot of people think, oh, I got my kids this and that and this and my kids dressed in Jordans and they got the best outfits. That don't mean nothing. Anybody can do that, man. Anybody can do that. Do you know your kid's favorite snack? Do you know what your kid's allergic to? Do you know how to take care of your kids when they sick? You take your kids to school? You feel me? There's real stuff out here, man. I just went to Children's Hospital 2 days ago, 3 o'clock in the morning, left at 8:30 because my baby was sick. A lot of people don't do that, man. It's real. That's about being a real father. Buying stuff don't mean nothing. Anybody can buy anybody anything, man.
You know what
that don't mean nothing.
You know what I heard when you said that? Like, do you know your kid's favorite snack? Do you know? Look. a lot of fathers don't even know their child's talents and
Yeah,
gifts. You
yeah.
don't
Helping with homework.
you
Helping
don't
with homework.
you don't even know where. Oh,
You helping your children with their homework. They get an F in math, but that's your home. You just help them. So you stupid.
this what I'm saying.
Like for real.
Like, do
Like
do you know if your kids are gifted in art, or can they sing, or if they're gifted in music? Like all the time we've been doing music, and I would, my daddy would hear about what we doing, and he never took it serious because he was never around me to see that I was gifted musically. And I would tell him about stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I've been writing music since I was like in the fifth, sixth grade.
You know what?
I've been this, that, and that." My mama pointed out, and I remember he made a statement. He said, mamas say they kids is whatever, whatever." I was like, "You don't know." I said, "You don't know what I'm gifted. You don't know. You can't say you have no clue." So that's just what I heard when you was talking.
And I just want to segue into that because remember, I told you what happened in Atlanta. My stepmama, I wrote that first rap, me and my big brother, and we performed it in front of him. And it's the time Atlanta was blowing up. Criss Cross just came out, Mary J. This when Atlanta was on fire. And that's the truth.
Don't know their birthday.
Yeah.
Don't know what birthday is.
I know all my kids' teachers' name.
So
How many people can say that?
So
Not many.
So dig. So I mean, she told this man, hey, her eyes big like Jamar is really good. He's really good. He can really you should do something with that.
Who is this stepmama you
Man,
talking about, man?
My mama Jackie, my daddy wife.
Oh
I
yeah,
got
I don't know.
you don't know nothing about. I live with my daddy, bro.
Right.
I got a whole nother family too, because my daddy had a whole nother family. I got a little sister named Keisha, and a big brother named Rose. Then I got a big sister named Marva, but I also got a big sister named Rochelle, and I don't know the other big sister name. Yeah, that's just my daddy side. You know what I'm saying? What the lady say on Boys in the Hood?
What does a man expect from his father growing up from adulthood?
So I got your point on what's strong components. What's some strong components as a father?
The main strong component of a father is giving him the kingdom, flat out. Like I always say, I can't remember ever praying with my father, ever. I can't remember reading. Is my character? Oh, my bad. Okay, now it is. I don't know, for some reason I turned my mic was off. My bad. Okay, I got you. Thanks, Kara. But strong component, the strongest, the major component of a father is giving your kid the kingdom. Like, I can't remember ever praying with my father, never reading. I never went to church with my father, except if it wasn't a funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't get I didn't get God at all from my father, not one drop. His grandmother taught me how to pray. My mama taught me all about God. My stepdaddy read the Bible with me and all that stuff, but I didn't get nothing about God from. And even when you know what I'm saying? But now as a grown man, I understand he didn't give me nothing because he didn't have anything. He don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna move in his house and take over his house, and he had these Buddha statues and these other statues from other religions, and I was like, and he didn't move them to his wife's house. I'm like, take them with you. He was like, yeah, I ain't. You ain't gonna keep my Buddha here. I'm like, what? Like, do you know what that is? Like, and then he.
I didn't mean to laugh at it,
but then he said something that let me know that he don't know much about what's going on. He said, see, don't be one of those people trying to push your religion on everybody else. Let me serve God how I serve God. I said, oh, you don't know nothing. but not to disparage my daddy or talk crazy about my daddy, but you know what I'm saying? That's the main thing for a father to build a child from the ground up.
Ooh.
To like when you know when we lost our son this summer, the one of the things that was hurt us the most, because and I thought about this, and not to I love my daddy. I ain't mad at him. I don't got nothing against him. I've forgiven him. I'm excited about where we gonna be, where we growing with our relationship. But I thought about my son every day. I prayed over my son every day. I made plans and prepared a space for my son every single day. And when my son didn't make it, I said, I wonder if my daddy prayed about me every day on my way here. I wonder if he thought about me every day on my way here. I wonder if he prepared. The answer is no. But just to go back to, that's what a father is. A father, he's anticipating this child to come to this world so that this child can be salt and light to the nation. And I couldn't wait to have my son in my hands and dedicate him back to the Father and put everything in him that where he could serve the Father, serve the King. That's a father to me.
And I want to send you condolences, because I put a post on your page. I don't know if you read that. I went through the same thing, man. I lost twins.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Two-blicker pregnancy. I lost twins before I got my twins now that are 4 years old.
Yeah.
And like I said, things happen, and I feel your pain, because I went through the same thing. And then he gave me twins a year later. Yeah. So it ain't over, bro.
Yeah, man.
It ain't over,
man. I never doubted God. I believe that God definitely.
And I think I told Scoob that Scoob ain't even know that. He like, I think I told you, and you was like, oh, I didn't even know that yet. Yeah. Some things I keep under wraps, but I've been through the same thing. I was, found out we was having twins, and like you said, I was ready and everything, and I was preparing, and it didn't go plan like we wanted to. But a year later, God blessed us with another set of twins. So you can't lose faith. Everything happens for a reason. But I definitely think if you won't, what was y'all having, a boy?
Yeah.
You won't have another one.
Oh yeah, I ain't worried. I ain't worried about God is the greatest all this way.
But it's going to happen for you, man.
Yeah, so appreciate.
So let me go ahead and run these scriptures down, man, because we just spent up a lot of the church's money. Also, thank you for this contribution today too. I don't really do that on this show, but that was dope how you came through. You know what I'm saying?
I heard you in the bathroom trying to steal the church's money.
I said, oh yeah, I done sent you enough
money. Dollars.
I done sent you enough money.
Actually, I was gonna get some Chipotle with that money, but I said it to y'all. Y'all deserve it, man. Y'all doing a good thing, man.
Amen.
I try to tune in when I can, man. Y'all my brothers. I love y'all, man.
Love you too, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, we gonna turn these two. Definitely with me, we gonna turn these 2-3 viewers, man, to 200-300. You feel me?
Hey, tell mama I love her.
Oh yeah, mama, yeah. She gonna see you very soon. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you see I tried. I said, hey man, can we get off Miss Sandy?
Yeah, Sandy. I literally talked to Sandy. She you will be hearing something soon, man. But go ahead and finish y'all show, man. I love y'all, man.
She gonna tell me she ain't worried about me and none of them time about.
All right. Love you.
Love y'all too, man.
Yeah. So, scripture. Psalm 103:13. As the Father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. Proverbs and just saying that when we parent our children, and I'm gonna keep these same scriptures all through the series. I might add one or two, but also how the Lord has forgiven us, we must forgive others. It's the same with dealing with your children. You have mercy, you have compassion, you have empathy, and you do that with your parents too. Like, Mama, I love you. I ain't mad at you. It's a learning experience. It's a growing experience. I don't hold any. It's just in the moment talking about it, I'm passionate. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Discovering things that plague me, but understanding that God put me in this position for a reason, to grow me, so I can be a better parent to my children and don't have to take them through that. Hov did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that's basically what that meant. Show compassion. Just how the Father showed you compassion to your children. You talking about no cop deuces now. Proverbs 22:6. Start your children off in the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. Think about that. I told you, my daddy told me things one time. My daddy taught me how to play chess when I was 12 years old. I don't even think I was 12 yet. I might have been 12. My daddy taught me how to play chess when I was 11, 12 years old. I still know how to play. All the little things that he instituted in me and my brother, and I say by way of my daddy, fight, ride a bike, all of that sorts of things, all of those things, little skills that I have. Yeah. He trained me up in those ways. So train your children up in the way of the Lord, so he never departs from them. Now, I planted the seed with most of my children. Now, think about this. As crazy as Jateri is, she still go to church. She still believe in God. I promise you that. Her dude go to church every Sunday. He church boy too. So, with that being said, raise up that. Yeah, that definitely ain't telling me. That's me. Raise up a child in the way she should go. Jemiah. Raise up a child in the way they should go, and they shouldn't depart from the way. They believe in God. Raise your children to believe in God, so they'll never depart from him. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. I mean, yeah, I don't even know how to explain that. It just explains.
Yeah.
So that goes along with being compassionate, as the Lord is being compassionate to you. Don't beat on your kids. Don't dwell on your kids for their. Don't make them seem as failures. Correct them, and the way the Lord corrects you. And that's it. That's all I got. And I got
this podcast.
Don't pull up. I changed my scripture. I sent it to you, but you said you ain't get it, so I'm just gonna read it. But this is my new altar call scripture. This for Push the Rock. And Peter replied, each of you must repent of your sins and turn to God and be baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. Then you will receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. This promise is to you and your children. Listen. Rest in peace, take off. Dope. So this is to anybody watching this show that heard the testimony and was like, Dad. Because as you see, as I walk through the story, I also talked about the glory I got from the story, the trauma, the pain, the daddy issue that brought me closer to my Father God. And as the scripture reads, if you believe and you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and repent means to change your mind, right? Then go be baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. Then it's welcome to Life Row. So if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is God, go find you a church. Get you a church home. Get baptized. And welcome to the kingdom.
Welcome to Life Row.
The blessed side is the best side.
Blessed side.
So follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
You kind of forgot where you was at for a second, didn't you?
Follow you on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Crown of Glory 360. Also, new version Bible app. This week we doing a Bible app. I forget what plan it was. My response. And it shows you in this in this plan how to respond to God. And it's just dope, man. YouVersion Bible app. If you got an iPhone or Android, download this app. It's free. YouVersion. That's one word. YouVersion. Type in Crown of Glory 360. Make sure you type that in. Then then make you a profile just like you do on social media. Make your profile. You can like, share, comment, everything on that, and come in and join the conversation that we have among the congregation, among the church. Make sure you do that. Jump on in YouVersion Bible app. Also, email us if you want prayer requests or anything of the sort. Make sure you hit us up at crownofglory360gmail.com for the prayer requests. Anything that you didn't want to comment on the show, if you just want to speak to us in private, anything, just hit us up on the email, crownofglory360gmail.com, and we definitely will get back with you. Also, check us out on the youtube.com/crownofglory360. Like, share, subscribe, comment, smash that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop content. Every time. And that's every Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's every look, he's talking about not blessed. That's every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's every Saturday where we big churching. Crown of Glory 360, 2:30. Tune in tomorrow where we doing the book of humility. We go ahead and cap that thing off. Make sure you tap in. Crown of Glory 360. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Be notified of all the content. And you know we come to do what Jesus do all the time. Spread love. That's the blessed way. That's the Yahweh. Peace.
Anyone comes to me and put anything or anybody before me in any capacity, that's your child, that's your mama, that's your wife, that's your friend, that's yourself. If you put you before him, you can't be my disciple. I need you absolutely surrender to me because I got something for you. I put a deposit in you, and I need my
ROI.
Yeah.
For this reason, since the day we heard about it, we have not stopped praying for you, asking specifically that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will and all spiritual wisdom, with insight into his purposes and to understanding of spiritual things, so that you will walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, displaying admirable character, moral courage, and personal integrity, to fully please him in all things, bearing fruit in every good work, steadily growing in the knowledge of God, with deeper faith, clear insight, and fervent love for his precepts. We pray that you may be strengthened and invigorated with all power, according to his glorious might, to attain every kind of endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father, who has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints and the Lord. Amen. Love y'all.
There's 2 point of views that's needed in that, in the marriage aspect. You know, those who have this.
Leave the sound effects to me, bro. Don't make me mute your mic.
I want to laugh.
Go ahead, John.
But, so So, but yeah, with those 2 point of views, man, before you get married, it's important that you set a foundation, and there has to be a foundational will.
Well, we just trust in you, and we thank you. And no matter what situations, no matter what it looks like, what it may feel like, your word stands taller than everything. So we just want to just give you praise, thank you, and give you honor and glory, knowing that your promises are indeed 100%, 1 billion%, 1 trillion% true indeed. And we thank you, Lord, in the name of Jesus.
Amen.